A warm welcome to you. This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Ruth Aguela. We begin with the demise of Alhaji Bashir Osman Tofa, who was born in June 1947 at Yola Quarters, Kano. He had his early education at the Shahuchi Primary School, Gwali Junior Secondary School, then Rumfa College for his senior certificate. He was the presidential candidate of the defunct National Republican Convention in 1993. Chairman, Citizens Forum Kano, astute businessman and philanthropist. He died at the age of 73. He is survived by a wife and 6 children. The remains of the former presidential candidate of the defunct National Republican Convention, Alhaji Bashir Osman Tofa, have been laid to rest in Kano. Correspondent Mohammed Rabiu reports that Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, was among the hundreds of people who attended the funeral prayer at the deceased residence.
That was the last respect each Muslim requires. It was led by Imam Sayyidi Bashir amidst family and sympathizers. Late Bashir Usman Tofa died early hours of Monday at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital after a brief illness.
We have lost somebody that has been steering one of the most important organizations that he was heading. He has done a great job and has taken a lot of responsibilities for this important thing. I hope we will be able to carry along and continue where he stopped.
The loss of Bashir Tofa is not to Kano people alone. It covers all Nigeria.
Age 74, before his death, he was an astute businessman, politician, and chairman Kano Elders Forum. He is survived by a wife and 6 children. Muhammad Ali, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari leads the nation in mourning Bashir Tofa, who he described as a politician of note that once ran as presidential candidate in a 2-horse race and also a promoter of Islamic culture and civilization. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Bashir, says late Tofa was noted for his untiring commitment to public enlightenment and unafraid to speak the truth all the time. That he lived and set up the Bureau for Islamic Propagation, BIP, in the mid-80s that helped to unite Muslim scholars in the northern states, narrowing the differences that characterize their relationships. The BIP also published books and newspapers. President Buhari described late Tofa as a true nationalist that would be difficult to replace. President Buhari praised Allah to repose his soul and grant fortitude to the bereaved family and friends. The Kano Emirate Council, as well as government and people of Kano. Meanwhile, the president has dispatched a delegation to Kano with a condolence letter to the state governor, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. The team is made up of Ministers of Defense, Major General Bashir Magachi, retired, and Water Resources Engineer Suleiman Adamu, accompanied by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Bashir, and the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris. Away from that, the presidency has cleared the air regarding the widely viewed reported episode on Friday, December 31st at the State House during the signing of the 2022 Budget and Finance Bill by President Muhammadu Buhari, specifically on the insertion in the 2022 Appropriation Act of 6,576 new schemes worth about 57 billion naira by the National Assembly. Let's get the details from Elizabeth Omori.
Statement from the presidency says, while it is true that the president expressed disagreement with these and many of the other alterations, including the reduction in the provisions for many strategic capital projects to introduce empowerment projects, innumerable lies are being spread about the president being angry at, heard, blasted or lashed out at the parliament. This cannot be further from the truth. The statement quoted President of the Senate, Hamid Lawan, had after the budget signing ceremony, saying it was normal in the everyday executive-parliament relationship to have disagreements because executive and legislative judgments don't always have to be the same. The presidency notes that there are people who are trying to create a fiasco between the two arms of government on account of the budget, but added that they be disappointed as the executive and the 9th National Assembly have since moved away from the wild, destructive political games of the past, conducting themselves in a way that puts national interest supreme in their decisions. It doubts if there is a patriotic citizen who wants to see the return of the operating environment engendered by the 8th Senate when an elected government was held in chains, held hostage to the desperate political ambitions of a clique, and the public denied needed services, including that which impinged on national security. The Constitution, the statement said, both arms of government are co-equal and at the same time independent and interdependent, adding that the rule of the game is cooperation and the president, as a Democrat, fully accepts this. The presidency said the rationale for assenting to the 2022 Appropriation Act is to save value addictive projects, programs and policies, pointing out that although over 10,733 projects were reduced and 6,576 new projects introduced by the National Assembly, that tens of thousands of more in the 2022 budget, all of which, when effectively and efficiently implemented, will have significant developmental impact on the lives and livelihoods of ordinary Nigerians. President Buhari, the statement said, is a Democrat who deeply believes in the supremacy of the Constitution with its checks and balances across the three arms of government, and that legislation like the Appropriation Act and other money bills, the National Assembly has equal responsibility with the executive. It said if the president had declined assent to the 2022 appropriation bill, the National Assembly has powers to override the president's veto if they can drum up a 2 to 3 majority votes. This is the Constitution. Happily, this situation has not arisen during the tenure of Buhari's administration. And the executive's relationship with the leadership of the 9th National Assembly is much improved over what happened with the 8th National Assembly. It is on account of his confidence in the strength of this excellent working relationship with Mr. President, has directed that an amendment budget proposal should be prepared and submitted to the National Assembly once they return from their recess. It is hoped that the National Assembly will carefully consider and approve the 2022 amendment budget proposals once presented to them in due course for the benefit of all Nigerians.
Online nomination of candidates and party agents has come to stay in Nigerian electoral system, even after the exit of COVID-19. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu stated this in Abuja. Let's hear more from Mia Ogidi.
INEC's online registration of candidates, election observers and party agents. At least one can say thanks to COVID-19 for once. This many thought would fade away with the passage of COVID-19, but INEC thinks otherwise.
We will maintain the same arrangement for all forthcoming elections, including the 2023 general election.
Before getting to the general, there is a particular election, the Federal Capital Territory Area Council election, on Valentine's Day, that is February 12, 2022. Expectedly, the continuous voters registration exercise is temporarily suspended. Data cleaned up to get a fresh voters register. About 43,000 fresh registrations recorded. More than 14,000 multiple registrations discovered, so wasted. But for those yet to get their permanent voters card in the Federal Capital Territory,
that the PVCs will be available for collection from 6 January 2022 until 4th February 2022.
Portals for the online registration open. 51 election observers for the FCT already accredited. Countdown to February 12th FCT decides is getting faster. Mie Ogidi, NT News.
All right, let's go on a break, but when we return, we're joining Dibabari in Port Harcourt. Stay tuned.
In the international stadium, the joy of this Cup of Nations.
I know that in the last decade, this country has been at different wars trying to keep the peace and promote the sovereignty and the integrity of the country. The troops are doing their best. The president has given them all the necessary tools. It is left for us as young people and as Nigerians to give them all the support we can. We say kudos to all our gallant military men. Please, whenever you see a police officer in or out of uniform, if you know them, clap for them whenever they need be. Give them seats in buses and trains and airplanes. Have the airline managers reduce air tickets for them or train tickets for them. Show them that we appreciate what they do and show their families that there is something right and honorable and truly remarkable about wearing a uniform and going into the bushes and the forest to fight enemies of this country that are hell-bent in bringing your life to an end. It's a very tough time, but we have to all put our hands together. Please support our troops and support our police officers.
The 157-kilometer Lagos-Ibadan Railway is the first double-track standard gauge railway to be built in West Africa. The Alhaji Johnson train station is a masterpiece, an infrastructure that is gradually becoming an iconic building in Lagos State. The modern facilities put the station on a world map of train stations. Likewise, other new train stations across the country built to world-class standards. The train and its convenience is indeed an admirable effort, with commendations from Nigerians.
This is a station that we have to commend the federal government for putting a beautiful face, empowering us in Lagos State, not only in economic and political arena.
I can say that I'm really impressed with the infrastructures in place. Kudos to the Minister of Transportations. Kudos to the federal government.
Truly, good things are coming out of Nigeria, and the federal government is deserving of all the applause.
From the heart of the Federal Capital Territory
to the ancient city of Kano,
from the sprawling rooftops of Ibadan
to the bustling markets of Aba and the creeks of the Niger Delta, you really can't beat the reach.
Over the years, we have kept going, keeping you informed, educated, and entertained.
And how have we survived in the very challenging year?
Because of our pillars of support, namely the 3 tiers of government: ministries, departments, and agencies,
corporate bodies and advertisers,
religious bodies,
civil society groups,
political parties, and most importantly, you, our esteemed viewers. Together, we made 2021 great.
And together, we shall make 2022 greater.
Thank you from all of us here at NTA. Your season's greetings and a prosperous new year.
Port Harcourt. Research shows that an upsurge in material and non-material items due to inflation rates in Nigeria impacted businesses and other means of livelihood of Nigerians in 2021. This is as economists and entrepreneurs sued for adequate implementation of policies that will revamp the economy of the country. Ijoma Ogweke reports.
Nigeria experienced its deepest recession in 2 decades, but growth resumed in 2021 as pandemic restrictions were erased off. Oil prices recovered and the authorities implemented policies to counter the economic shock. The COVID-19 crisis continues to disrupt Nigeria's labor market while it now exceeds pre-pandemic levels. However, improvements were witnessed in some areas due to some workers turned into small-scale business entrepreneurs, but not without challenges.
I'm a farmer, so we encounter increase in price of feed, and because of that, we could not stock more birds. And the cost of everything, both the drugs and everything, we are expensive in the market.
While some Nigerians in Port Harcourt commended government for progress made in the face of many challenges in recent years, they need to face massive developmental challenges, including reduction in oil dependency and diversified economy, have been stressed.
Government to, if I should suggest, they should do something to, assist, especially the vulnerable. Yeah, the vulnerable, yes, because that's not been really easy after the COVID.
For me, I would say that several areas needs to be looked into. The society, the way it is now, it's not really going down well with people. Cost of things in the market, and we're hearing that fuel is going to be increased.
They have, however, appealed for implementation of policies to address governance issues, unemployment, and public financial management systems. In Port Harcourt, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
Young people are said to constitute a fifth of the world population. Their vibrancy and fresh ideas, if fully harnessed in the decision-making process, the country could accelerate national development. It is against this backdrop that more Nigerian youths are suing for inclusion in nation-building and democratic reforms. Benny Achibong reports.
Harnessing the power of the youths as evolvers of economic, social, political, cultural transformation and drivers of change, youths based on research should be adequately represented in decision-making processes in the country, while embracing a culture to know their rights and to be empowered with knowledge to participate meaningfully in all levels.
The people of today actually failed to choose the best of the people by credibility and who they really want to represent them.
They have taught us about trying to take the future into our hands. They never said that we should take the politics or the power of today into our hands.
In Nigeria, youth constitute the nation's largest population and are classified between 15 to 29 years, according to National Youth Policy 2019. But some youths hold different view to this thought that they are key agents to building democratic cultures.
We the women demand that processes should be put in place for the implementation of the 35% affirmative action.
Upside there, I think I was having a wrong conception of it, but now I've gotten a clear definition of who a mentor is.
Records have it that in 2007, the Federal Ministry of Youth Development was established for youth affairs, focusing on 18 priority areas with a vision to empower youth to be self-reliant and contribute in nations building processes. In Calabar, Benny Achibong, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. Is back to root in Abuja. Happy New Year.
Thank you very much, Dibabari. Happy New Year to you too. Plans are on the way to decongest the correctional facility in Ebonyi State and as well rehabilitate the inmates that would be granted state pardon. This was revealed by Governor David Umahi when heads of security agencies in the state paid him a New Year homage. Chika Okorie reports.
Since some of the security challenges encountered last year, Governor David Umahi commended the security agencies for their show of gallantry and professionalism in carrying out their constitutional mandates and encouraged them to remain focused. He also emphasized the urgent need to decongest the correctional facility by granting some of the merited inmates state pardon.
The worst thing that happened to our nation is to mix politics with security. It's so terrible and so bad. But I call on the serving chiefs at the national level to be very courageous and at the state levels and deal with the matter the way it is. And I also said that we intend to decongest the prison as directed by Mr. President.
Representing the heads of the security agencies in the state, the Commissioner of Police, Aliu Galba, thanked the governor for his support, which has helped them to do their job with ease. He pledged that they will redouble their efforts in securing the lives and property of the citizenry.
We are also here today to give you that solidarity and loyalty with what we have been doing and will continue to do the very best we can.
Meanwhile, the governor also received some other groups that came to celebrate the Utah season with him at his country home, Umunaga Uburu, in a Hozra local government area of the state. In Abakaliki, Chika Okore, NTA News.
All right, let's make another stop. We're heading to Sokoto to join Nana. Nana?
Thank you, Ruth. Welcome to Sokoto, everyone. So stakeholders have advocated for the establishment of the deaf Islamia schools for hearing impaired in the country. National President of the association, Salisu Jibril Zaria, made the call during the closing ceremony of the Sign Language Conference held in Sokoto. Sheikh Muhammad Dati completes the story.
Al-Furqan Deaf Islamic Dawah Association was established in 2017 with the aim of educating and enlightening deaf Muslims, various acts of worship, and propagating Islam in Nigeria. Sharif Mande recites Suratul Fatiha using sign language. Declaring the conference closed, Chief Host and Principal Abdurrashid Adisaraji Secondary School Aliyu Modisi Fawa spoke on the significance of sign language and interpretation. He called on participants to make good use of the knowledge acquired during the conference. He said there is ability in disability and that no deformity can prevent a person from pursuing academics or participating in any given task.
Quite a long time we have been still without an Arabic sign language that we can read the Quran and interpret the Quran the way we want it. But today I'm happy you have seen a small child reading the Surah Al-Fatiha, and he is only trying to give us the full meaning.
National President of the Association, Salisu Jibril, called on government and well-to-do in the society to assist in establishing Islamia schools for the hearing impaired in the country. He said that hearing impaired persons are left behind in understanding sermon and Ramadan tafsirs and other forms of worship, stressing the need to educate them using sign language to ensure knowledge is extended to all.
The most problem that we face in Sokoto State, deaf are a lack of knowledge about religion, especially in the way of worshiping Allah.
Speakers at the ceremony stressed the importance of da'wah to hearing impaired persons and advocated for educating them, urging Muslims and government at all levels to assist in supporting them with scholarships. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Zonal Pest Control Office of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Sokoto, has begun aerial control operation of killer birds in the state. Sheikh Muhammad Dati again reports that the exercise is expected to cover 4 local governments affected by the killer birds.
The 2021 aerial control operation of killer birds in Sokoto was flagged off at the Sultan Abubakar III International Airport, Sokoto. For quite some time, killer birds have been ravaging palm produce in Wurno, Shagari, Tangada, and Silami local governments. This informed the decision of the Zonal Pest Control with the intervention of the federal government to embark on aerial spray with a view to checking the menace of the birds.
The essence of this control is just to reduce the population of these birds. As we are all aware, the crop that is seriously in the field, which is rice, millet, and other cereals that these birds used to feed on.
The state government will do everything possible to ensure that farming is now taken to be a business.
Farmers and other people living in the affected local governments were advised not to consume the birds or even drink from the nearby water bodies. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Well, that's it for us here in Sokoto. Nationwide continues with Obehi in Benin. Bye-bye.
Candidates who are interested in gaining admission into NTA-TV College, JOS, for the 20 diploma program are to apply for admission through the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB. Courses available for application include film and television production, broadcast journalism, and television engineering technology. Such candidates must have a minimum of 5 O-level credits in relevant subjects, including English language and mathematics. For inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. Management Announcer.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Just look at this. Remember the name. That is a wonderful goal.
The African Cup of Nations starts on the 9th of January 2022 on NTA. Powered by Afrosports. For sponsorship and advertisements, contact us on 090-9890-6913 or 090-3513-2838.
Hello and welcome to Benin. Festive seasons like the Christmas and New Year celebrations afford Nigerians the opportunity to go off work and spend time with loved ones. However, many essential duty workers do not have the window to be with friends and family. Even during celebrations, duty still calls. Paul Mukago in this report examines how those who render essential services cope during the festive periods.
Essential workers like those in the media, health and transport sectors, as well as military and paramilitary personnel, are classified as people whose services are required at all times, irrespective of the season. As in other cities and towns in Nigeria, those on essential and emergency services were at their duty posts in the ancient city of Benin. Some of them speak on the joys they derive, working round the clock even during holidays.
We don't observe holidays. We are always on the road, every day.
Christmas I was here, New Year I'm here. You can see today's public holiday, I'm here. It's the job we signed for. I feel good doing it.
This is my first assignment. It's my job and I'm proud to do it. I'm a nurse, I have to serve people. So as I'm here, no problem.
We are here to save lives and property. So it's good to go. It's part of us. It's what we enjoy doing. So we are happy.
Traffic managers like federal road safety officials say holidays are a busy period requiring their presence on the highway.
At the end of a quarter or the month, we normally have what we call Doba, where we make our operatives to feel happy, to know that our own celebration to ensure that the roads are free and to ensure that there are no people don't die on the road. That is our celebration. We are more happier when we do our work and we don't have people dying on the road.
The services this category of Nigerians render are sacrificial and highly contributory to the well-being of the nation. They work when others rest. They are awake when others sleep. Theirs is a life of challenge and self-denial. In Benin, Paulo Mukago, NTA News.
The new year, which comes with expectations and aspirations, is here again. Judging from the experiences of 2021, some Nigerians share their thoughts with Ifeoma Okafor on personal goals and governance in 2022.
On every new year, one has limitless opportunities to say goodbye to bad habits and adopt new positive life changes. Some choose to extend more hospitality to others, while some choose new friends and ditch old friends. Having a positive attitude towards whatever life brings is said to be the best expectations.
Well, as a civil servant, I expect promotions, I expect success, I expect long life, good health.
We know the situation of things now in the country. It is our prayer and our wish that things definitely get better.
Managing expectations and defining clear-cut goals is said to go a long way in accomplishing set objectives.
They should really work on the economy. Things are really very difficult for people, most especially commodities of prices, foods, and even most especially in Delta States, most especially in Calabar metropolis, our strength is becoming a problem.
The government should put incentive in place to support civil servants.
Our focus should be on how we ourselves can be an instrument of reconciliation.
Studies also show that writing expectations down on paper will keep one in check. To have a reconnect between New Year expectations and reality, people are advised to put words into actions. Ifeoma Okafor, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Obeyi. Developing financial discipline, a savings culture, and a workable budget that is devoid of ostentatious lifestyle have been canvassed by guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria as necessary for managing finances in 2022. Alika Okpanachi Arua reports.
As the festive season winds down, people are faced with the realities of everyday life after so many expenses, which tend to make the month of January quite long. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria advocates financial prudence as a solution, in addition to budgeting within the limits of personal and family income.
Financial stability creates future security for individual and for the families. Investment is what will give you future security.
People talk about budget as one elitist word. No, it is just the things you want to do based on expected income and expenditure. It's also important that when you draw that simple budget of what you want to do, you stick to it. Financial discipline.
Financial autonomy they maintained has nothing to do with educational status, but it is achievable through proper planning and mentorship.
In a developing economy, everyone needs at least 7 streams of income to survive. Now, is your salary increasing at the rate at which inflation is going? Absolutely. And it's not the fault of government, it's not the fault of your employer. You can't kill your employer.
In all, the underlying principle is cut your coats according to your cloth. In Abuja, Alika Okpanachi Arua, NT News.
OPEC Secretary General Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo says the 2022 growth forecast remains unchanged at 4.2%. This, he says, is a sign of world's economic resilience, as a new study by the Center for Economics and Business Research in the UK estimates that global economic output will surpass $100 trillion in 2022, 2 years earlier than expected. According to him, the world has learned several hard lessons over the past 2 years, and many economies are now better equipped to manage COVID-19 and its side effects. Despite the steady progress that has been made in terms of economic recovery, globally, significant levels of uncertainty in the weeks to come is expected, which could slow the growth momentum. In addition to closely monitoring the evolving impacts of the Omicron variant, other factors to consider will be the varying speed of vaccine rollouts worldwide, uneven pace of economic growth across global regions, and continuous supply supply chain disruptions. Additionally, he said rising inflationary pressures and potential central bank responses remain key factors that require close monitoring. The meeting, Festive OPEC in 2022, applauded the contributions of OPEC and non-OPEC declaration of cooperation delegates. Marikindo noted the need to watch closely the developments in the global oil and gas industry with regard to the COVID-19 pandemic remain sacrosanct. Despite the ongoing uncertainties the world is witnessing, the flexible approach by the Declaration of Cooperation members has helped provide an added sense of stability, reassurance, and continuity to the market and investors. He said, as the DOC members usher in the 6th year of collaboration, he noted the need to move forward with confidence, knowing that the highly effective and well-reputed framework for multilateral energy cooperation will once again prove to be the way of the future for the industry. Well, in continuation of NTA's 2021 sectoral review, our correspondent Olayinka Ojo highlights some major events that shaped the education sector in 2021 with specific reference to examination.
The outgoing year in the education sector could best be described as that of recovery owing to the closure of schools for the better part of 2020 to curtail the spread of COVID-19. In spite of the challenges, the examination bodies were still able to conduct examination with strict adherence to COVID-19 protocols. For the National Examination Council, NECO, that conducts both the Common Entrance and Senior Secondary Certificate examination, during the 2021 NECO Senior Secondary Certificate examination, a total of 1,233,631 candidates registered for the examination, and 1,226,796 sat for the examination. Even though more than 1 million candidates scored 5 credits and above, 878,925 candidates made 5 credits and above in English language and mathematics. In the case of West African Examination Council's exercise, a total of 1,274,784, representing 81% of the 1,560,261 candidates who sat for the examination, obtained 5 credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects.
Honorable Minister of Education has requested that the WAS for School Candidates 2022 should be conducted in May/June 2022. This position has been communicated to the Registrar to Council in Accra, and he has assured us that it will be reckoned with in drawing up the international timetable for the examination. And so, by the special grace of God, the WAS for School Candidates 2022 will be taking place in May/June 2022.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, in 2021 registered more than 1.2 million candidates for the 2021 UTME and 63,586 registered for direct entry.
Just moderate. Some questions repeated itself, and it was not, beyond my capacity.
The condition of the examination hall was suitable for the exam.
I wrote last year, so this year is like it was more speedy.
As part of its efforts to right the ills in the sector, the board detected more than 100,000 illegal admissions by tertiary institutions.
And we felt that what we should do is to stop the admission process, reassess, and call on the institutions on the other side to.
In the case of professional qualifying examination organized for teachers by the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, the council conducted 2 diets of examination in the year under review.
It's no longer possible for you to get a teaching job without TRCN certificate. Most of the states that are advertising for teaching position vacancies now, they now make it mandatory that you must actually get TRCN certificate.
Going forward, we must enforce Mr. President's directive that only qualified teachers will be allowed to teach our children.
Given the fact that major examination bodies were able to conduct examinations against all odds and in compliance with COVID-19 guidelines in 2021, it shows that 2022 promises to be a better year for the sector as education continues to be the bedrock of development. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
All right, let's head to Lagos to join Adiola for her to pick up from there. Adiola.
Hello, Ruth. Nigerians want government to prioritize health and education in 2022 as they will improve the country's health and education indices and to a large extent address issues in the sectors.
While the beginning of every year comes with celebration and stock-taking on successes and challenges made in the previous year, it is also a time for renewed hopes and expectations, a time to set goals and resolutions, as well as expect to meet them by the end of the year. These expectations are not limited to the economy and security of the nation only. Nigerians are also looking forward to better health care.
Areas of improvement. We should have specialist centers. Most of our teaching hospitals should have specializations. We have a cancer center, an eye center, dialysis center. We could get the private sector to invest in these areas and have their names, have foundations for all this. We should also incorporate the natural medicine. In the area of orthopedics, I think our traditional system have not done too badly. We should be able to incorporate those things.
Government should be better equipped. They should take COVID-19 as a lesson, get themselves all the necessary healthcare facilities to be able to contain any future outbreak before it spreads. They should also work on our HIV care treatment. I know we get donors from the UK, from the US.
In the same vein, respondents are also hopeful that there will be increased investment in education by strengthening institutions, promoting greater adaptation of technology, and building of capacities of teachers.
We would like to see a judicious use of resources to ensure that, the education facilities around the countries are upgraded, and the lecturers or all the academic staffs and the non-academic staffs, they are well taken care of so that they can be motivated to do what they are supposed to do.
Government, on its part, has assured Nigerians of full implementation of the 2022 budget to meet the aspirations of the citizenry. In Lagos, Hinginu John, NTA News.
The end of every year entails writing down everything you engage in for the year, noting your wins and losses, and how you are ready to make resolutions for the new year. What is the relevance of New Year resolutions among Nigerians? Are they able to keep to their resolutions? Correspondent went to town to feel the pulse of the people.
Making New Year resolution is a popular tradition practiced in many parts of the world, including Nigeria. Recognizing this universal tendency, galvanizing people to reflect and take stock of their achievements and failures in the outgoing year with a view to making an improvement in the following year. However, there are $1 million resolutions flying across the country. But how many of these resolutions do Nigerians actually keep? What is the relevance of making New Year resolutions that cannot be kept?
In January, you take stock, you know how it's be going with you. February, so when you get to December, you say, in the past months, I've been so reckless with alcohol, and so by next year, I pray to cut it off.
It's a way for you to sit back and look at the past year. Then you make plans for the new year.
It's for you to plan yourself next year, how your year will be like, better than this year.
I've kept 85%.
90% of all my resolution is not always realistic. So I am even tired of making resolutions.
While it is good to plan for the year with high expectations, Nigerians, however, have been advised to be realistic in their resolutions so as not to be caught unawares with present economic reality. In Lagos, Kendi Adebisi, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. Ruth, are you ready with your New Year's resolution?
Thank you very much, Adiola. Of course, I do have mine. But still staying with the youth, the word synonym with Christmas certainly lives up to its name. Now, the tide of jubilation, celebration, recreation, and of course, expectations during the season is beyond one's imagination. In this report, our correspondent Nancy Godi Anuniho ventures to find answers to our curiosity about the visible hype in activities during this period.
Now, Yuletide is a period between mid-November and January, characterized by winter or windy dry season called harmattan.
The soil goes hard, the leaves of most trees wither away, grasses become flaky and dry, though flowers blossom. As the season advances, human activities pace up. People go on shopping sprees, buying new clothes, foodstuffs, even live animals and birds are not spared. Christmas decorations dot cities and homes as churches and groups organize Christmas carols. Transportation by air, land and sea booms. Exchange of gifts, philanthropic gestures increase as public holidays are declared by the federal government to deepen the joy. In the spirit of the season, the federal government of Nigeria granted free train rides to citizens, just as the Borno State governor offered free transportation and some cash to indigents of some states residing in the state to enable them to spend the festive period with family and loved ones.
Everybody, rich, poor, young, old, Muslim, non-Muslims, all of them, Christians, even Buddhists, all of them, they come across and celebrate this season.
The year was accumulated by the office work and other activities or transactions and other things. But at the end, they will now come into calculation or seeing what have I achieved and what will be my next step, or what change do I need in life.
Why the mass movement of people and increased celebration at Yuletide?
There is a traditional aspect of it. Families meet, people come home from different parts of the world, so the families see it as a huge part of their coming together. They also see it as part of raising funds. They see it as part of discussing issues that lead to development in the community.
This Yuletide is an opportunity for communities to come together to promote their culture.
Indeed, traditional dimensions to the Yuletide events like weddings, town hall meetings, and cultural displays also abound. Children are not left out.
We are celebrating Christmas.
This season, it helps us children to interact, play, and have fun with our parents.
I decree 7 times.
The last day of December climaxes with prayers and wishes by everyone, irrespective of religion, as the new year is ushered in with joy and resolutions for our fulfilling new year.
Beautiful time talking about the festive season, which often provides time for leisure, recreation, entertainment, pleasure, fun and games, as the case in virtually all corners of the country. Well, in this direction, Calabar, the known city for hospitality, was not left out, even though the popular street party, Calabar Carnival, has been suspended and may only happen within the stadium. Ode Alenyo, however, captured phone seekers at a nightlife recreation in Calabar. Let's see that.
Although the traditional Xmas tree lighting and other fantasies that usually greeted the city of Calabar at seasons like this were not there, yet nightlife in Calabar have become the culture of the people of Calabar, who are noted for their hospitality disposition and as the tourism hub of the nation. It is against this background that phone seekers dare the harsh economic situation and the harmattan weather condition in the state as they step out to relax with friends and families during this yellow tide.
I am here with my friend LMB to catch our cruise.
I just traveled back to Calabar because I love enjoying Christmas in Calabar.
Being here, I'm okay with my friends. You can see them. We're enjoying ourselves, we're okay.
Food vendors speak on the level of patronage they enjoyed this year as compared to other years.
Business was booming. People were coming out to eat, to flex their life.
Because of there's no carnival and there's no anything like festival in Calabar, that's why they are not going to have small sale like that, like last year.
However, a medical practitioner who also engaged in a night crawling highlighted the health benefit of hanging out, especially at times like this.
This is stress of people. We're taking out time out of your busy schedule to at least unwind, relax. You know, when you go home, you're refreshed and you're better equipped.
Some of the areas visited were the Fuerte roundabout, the popular Marian Road by Atikon Junction, as well as the Christmas Village.
Let's bring you update on COVID-19. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control has confirmed 573 new cases of the virus in the country. Lagos has the highest figure with 281 cases, Benue 202, Kano 61, Borno 20, Jigawa 5, while Edo and Oyo have 2 cases each. The report also includes a backlog of 20 cases reported for Borno State from 28th to 31st December 2021. 6 deaths reported for Borno State from 25th to 28th December 2021, as well as 61 cases reported for Kano State for 31st December and 2nd January 2022, and 6 states with 0 cases reported, which include Ekiti, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, Plateau, and Sokoto. Nigeria now has 243,450 confirmed cases, with 215,352 discharged and 3,039 deaths recorded. Let's take sports update.
Super Eagles interim coach Austin Iguavon has assured that all invited players would arrive in camp on Monday before their departure to Cameroon on Wednesday. 12 players observed their first training session on Sunday at the main bowl of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, under watch of Austin Iguavon and assistant coach Joseph Yobo.
The thing is, we just pray that no injury. And then when they come, these are boys that have played together for a while, and then blending shouldn't be any problem at all.
We're getting better day by day. You understand? This is the first session in the field here, so we're getting perfect.
Gymnastics coach Tony Asuko is hoping for a synergy between his club and Gymnastics Federation of Nigeria that will ensure that more gymnasts are produced in the country.
We are just trying our best to see how we can, groom gymnasts from grassroots level to competitive level, and which we're actually doing now.
The coach noted that his focus in 2022 is to ensure that they discover new talents through some of their grassroots initiatives and to nurture them to stardom. With Sports Update, Cynthia Ogun, NTA News.
We're done. Thank you for your company. But remember, we're seeking your support in the fight against rape and rapist Ruth Agwele. Bye.